Of course, we start here. Hans Niemann, Hikaru Nakamura. Who will come out on top in this one? Both players hopping out of their seats.
Right after move 1, Hans starts with the king pawn opening, in this case moving it 2 steps forward. Gets up, leaves, jackets are off, gloves are off from the very start. Hikaru just adjusting, jadoobing his pieces right now. I think retaking control of the center. I'm thinking the knight comes out next. White finds a way to get the dark squared bishop into the game with the f-pawn moving forward. Get that castle in, and once again we will be back into 5-1-8 territory.
Yeah, it's all about the knights. The bishops are pretty easy to sort out. The knights will fight for squares in the center, and most likely at some point we will see a central break. Hans Niemann, meanwhile, plays a very logical move, unleashing the bishop, as you mentioned that, Tanya. And yeah, unless this one explodes in the center with either Hans or here maybe first Hikaru playing these pawn breaks, then it's going to become very slow, very much about maneuvering. We'll see what mood Hikaru's in.
Do you think this is the kind of position that Hans, being the current group leader, was happy to see? That, it might be played out a lot more like a normal game and he can kind of just keep up the consistency, maybe even force a draw pretty easily and just continue to cruise through the final rounds?
Yeah, I think especially with white, it's unlikely that the opponent will break symmetry. You should be pretty safe, so I don't think any complaints for either of them. That being said, Hikaru with black draws a decent result for him too, so ultimately I think we might see scenarios where neither side wants to take too much risk.
I think to that point, the main differentiator here is, given the tournament situation, Hans is at the top of the leaderboard, Hikaru just behind him, right? So a draw kind of suits both of them. But let's turn that around. If any of them was playing for a win and needed that result with just one game remaining after this, I don't think they would have been as happy to see this on the board. Because this format is designed to level the playing field. There are no comfort zones, there are no opening preparation, so you can expect a fight from the start. But a 5-4 is what we have right now, so close to a 5-1-8, and again, standard chess ideas brewing. Those safe for the top 4, I think they're relatively happier than the ones who are struggling right now.
Fair enough. And such is the luck of the draw sometimes here in freestyle chess. You got to get it done when the position allows you to do so, and not every position is made equal.
Exactly, and talking of a position that isn't equal, I wonder whether it's time to move to Nodibek Abdusattorov against Magnus Carlsen. This position relatively symmetrical, just the knights, because Magnus, I'm not sure whether he's on tilt or whether he's just desperate to break the symmetry. He's doing some strange stuff in here.
Well, it's a good question, and I'll almost turn the question back on you, as you're, of the three of us, perhaps the man most familiar with Magnus Carlsen. Do you get any sense from his play? Is it desperate play that Magnus is putting out there? Is he reaching a bit?
Well, he very rarely loses 2 games in a row, like everyone loses.
Nakamura. As we get here, you'll see well within the favor of Hikaru piloting black pieces. We're going to roll this one back because a moment ago, out the corner of my eye, this one looked dead even. So, David, help me understand. Where did it all go wrong for Hans Niemann?
Yeah, just a few moves ago, it looked like a very position, but Hikaru suddenly turning things in his favor after Hans made a series of mistakes. He first took a pawn in the center, given a question mark. This isolates all of the white pawns, and F5, a beautiful move, preventing the white knights from stepping into the middle, and Hikaru switches focus here. He grabs a pawn on the edge of the board, and this is how we got here. A bunch of trades did indeed happen, but once the dust settled, it is this position we find ourselves in, and quick material count shows that black has an extra pawn, and the white king not feeling comfortable at all.
Well, for both these players, you know, you've got Hans at 4.5, Hikaru at 4. At least there's no pressure of qualification as such, and it means a lot for pride, glory. Yes, both want to get a win in against each other in this one, but it looks like it's still a position where the fight is on. And I'm gonna really say, let's go back to the Magnus board, because Magnus in danger territory is just one of it. Also, the position has completely blown up.
We'll go back to Magnus. Hikaru's in full
Thrilling conclusion to a battle for first place in this group. And right as we get there, it looks like the concession was made. Hikaru Nakamura snags first place for the first time out of the hands of Hans Niemann.
And in the end, from the position we saw, Hikaru just systematically traded pieces, traded queens, rooks, bishops, and was just a pawn up and about to win more in the final position. Hans Niemann resigning quite early, I'm going to say, but a mark of respect to his elder countrymen.
And what a moment to get that tournament lead in, right? You've got only one more round to play, and you know you'll have this big incentive, this big